Welcome.
Hi, I'm Laura Goralski. Nice to meet you. Would you like a copy of my resume?
Sorry, I won't put out the phone. Thank you. So, tell me about yourself.
I'm a student at Hofstra University. I'm currently a double major in global studies and public relations. I'm an excellent student. I have a 3.98 GPA. Over the past year, I've worked as an assistant to the director of the engineering department at my college. So I'm used to working with professionals, professors and students, making schedules, filing papers, dealing with that kind of thing. I'm also in PRSSA, which is Public Relations Student Society of America, at my college. So, and I'll be on the executive board next year for that.
As you mentioned that you have previous work experience as a personal assistant, have you ever encountered any problems as being a personal assistant, and what did you do to solve it?
I have come across conflicts, but they're usually minor and it's usually a misunderstanding. So I think it's really important to take into consideration the other person's perspective and deal with issues that way.
Do you have any greater strengths and weaknesses?
Some of my strengths, I'm very organized, I'm very dependable, I'm always on time. I take my work very seriously. I have a desire to succeed in everything I do, and I really strive for excellence. I am new into the communications, like public communications field, so I do need to work on my public speaking skills, but I am taking a couple classes for that this semester, and I have more classes next semester to improve my skills.
That's good. As you mentioned that you're a very organized person, and there's a lot of activities that you do that makes you organized. And that's one of the qualities that we require. And we also require like that you're involved in pop culture and other current medias. Do you watch do you read magazines, watch shows?
I do go on blogs online, like Perez Hilton and local celebrity, things like that. I do watch TV shows, HBO, and I watch a lot of ABC shows like Modern Family. I'm familiar with The View and The Revolution, which are two shows being featured. So.
That's good. Is there any other questions that you would like to ask me?
I do have a couple questions. What is the overall structure of the company, and how does the media relations team fit into that structure?
Well, we usually have, as you mentioned, like we take care of the daytime shows that goes on in ABC, and most of it comes from the Disney and other organizations, and we do shows like The View, The Revolutions, and other shows, and many soap operas, and you'll be working around with the managers, and they'll be supervising you to things that you would want to assist them with, and you would also be like copying, filing, faxing, and other stuff. So, and
How would you define success for this position?
as long as you keep supervised by other managers and meet up to their needs, it'll be good for the position, and you have to be more organized, and like if you want to take a leadership role, and if a manager is strong or something, you can step up to them.
And what are the hours of internship?
We usually expect like 15 to 20 hours, mostly during the day, but we have other jobs during the night times that goes on as like editing and other processes.
Excellent.
Right. Any questions?
That's good, thank you.
Right. Nice.
It's very nice to meet you, thank you.
Mary Nelson, what did you think of the reading?
It went pretty well. She kind of interacted with her when I was introducing myself, and towards the end, like when I did when they get the handshake, she kind of grabbed it a little earlier. So
Okay. Laura, what did you think of the interviewer's greeting?
Well, he started to say his name and then he stopped in the beginning, so then I said my name, and then like he said his name again, so it was kind of awkward. I didn't really know what to do, but it was fine.
Okay. How was the handshake?
It was good. Good.
Seems to be the word of the day. Mary Nelson, what did you think of the interviewee's response to your questions?
they were good. Yeah, she was prepared and gave pretty good answers to the questions. And she referred to the resume and like as she kind of was prepared with the resume and she gave most of the things from there.
Laura, what did you think of the questions?
They were good. They gave me a chance to talk about myself. I might have liked to have some more questions that I could have like talked more about my skill set maybe, or maybe I just didn't utilize it. It just seems so short because we don't have a lot of time. They were good.
So on both ends, as an interviewer and an interviewer, it's your responsibility to draw out what qualifications that this person may have or if they have them. So if you find that the responses are short or not really specific about those qualifications, that's your opportunity for secondary or follow-up questions to sort of draw out that information. As an interviewee, you want to make the most of every opportunity that you have because it can be a short amount of time and you cannot depend on the interviewer to ask you everything, right? So it has to come from both sides, and that's why we're doing this exercise this way. Marian Nelson, as in the greeting or in starting this, remember you have the control, so you're also to tell us why we're here, right? Don't forget, and I think some other pairs as well, it's the interviewer's purpose to tell us what the job is, what they're applying for, and then ask what qualifications do you have. So don't forget to introduce that. One thing that your pair could do, or your classmate could do better, Mary Nelson.
She pretty much did a good job, and like I said, be more confident, I guess. Also saw as she was like holding her folder, it's a little shaky, but
Okay.
she had like a good eye contact and everything else.
All right. So those are the nerves. To help not show them.
I'm so shaky in the beginning of everything.
That's all right.
I'm not even like nervous. I just like get shaky.
So a way to avoid that is try not to hold it up where it is free, just in your hand.
Yeah.
Put it down on your lap and keep your hands there. And that will get you through that moment. Remember, anxiety is always going to be there. It's how we use it. Laura, one thing that Mary Nelson can do better.
Definitely speak more clearly. It's hard to grasp some of the things that you're saying sometimes, and more eye contact.
So, Mary Nelson, you typically speak in a low volume. You have to turn that up a bit. I know we're sitting back here, but I also know what it should sound like there. So turn that up and enunciate a little bit more, because when you have lazy speech and you lower the volume, that's where we get mumbling, right? So it's important to crank up that volume and speak a little bit slower so you enunciate. Laura, you did a good job of going through your resume and your experiences and telling us what that meant, right? Folks, remember, we're going through the resume, talking about our experiences, but what does that mean? That's why you're here for an interview. So I could have been a cashier and handled money. What does that mean? It means I'm responsible. It's your job to tell us that, and you did a good job. Good job, folks.